We're in the south of Taiwan in the city of Tainan, Taiwan's oldest urban area. It was originally founded by the Dutch East India Company and served as Taiwan's first capital.
Tainan has seen rule under the Dutch, Chinese, and Japanese before the Republic of China. If you're interested in the area, its history, or food culture, we welcome you to join us on our days here in Tainan.
I am made to be free.
Here in Tainan, one of the most popular sites, one of the most famous sites is a site called Chikan Tower. And this is what it looks like right now.
It's under reno.
It's under renovations. You can still pay to go in. It's still the same regular price, but reviews were saying that everything is like under renovation in there, except for like one little thing. So we just are unlucky, I guess. Maybe a picture of it just appears here. Wow, wouldn't that have been nice to see? I don't know, that's traveling though. You can't always get what you want. I think, of course, of the Lashan giant Buddha that I haven't forgiven China for, that we paid full price to go in and you could like just see its head. This is stupid. Just not fair. As a consolation prize, really close to the tower, is the Grand Matsu Temple, which was built by the Qing Dynasty. Very old,
and
neat.
It's kind of tucked away in the little back streets of Tainan.
Tainan seems to have wonderful back streets and kind of alleys and little side things. So it's sort of a kind of neat to explore. But yeah, this is one of the 100 religious monuments, best ones in Taiwan.
Walking around all these little side alley streets in Tainan has been really nice. It makes it feel like properly like an old city. It's like even different from Taipei. And they all have like all these cute little like restaurants and cafes tucked away, which is just like really, really neat. It's cozy. It's very cozy. There's a theater here in Tainan called the Chinmen Theater that actually does hand-painted posters. It's so cool. And I think they sell the posters after the movie is played, but it's like an active theater. Like here's some new movies coming out. Cool.
So they sell the movie posters in postcard form. So they have like a little gift shop here. So we bought 4. They're just like really neat, yeah. We're in Tainan Park and we came across this structure. Look how fun it's painted. A stark reminder of where we are and in this country's history. It's an air defense shelter here in the park. But it's painted, with fun stuff for kids so they, feel comfortable running from the frickin' bombs. But yeah, it's a little bit run down. But, I don't know, if sirens started blaring, I'd scoot in that.
Here's another one in the park, and you can see a tree growing out of it. Kind of shows how old they are.
We had no idea that anything like this was going on. We were having a little siesta, and look what we didn't stumble across it. It came to us. Yeah, we were like laying in bed. We're like, what's that sound? Following that little bit of excitement, we are going for dinner. Now, Taiwan is of course famous for its braised beef noodle soup, but Tainan itself is famous for beef soup.
no noodles.
So it doesn't have noodles, it's not braised beef, it's like a totally unique Tainan thing, and we were given a recommendation for a place to go, so that's where we're going right now.
We got our beef soup here. We also got some rice and some beef with greens because that seemed pretty common. You also make a little dipping sauce for yourself.
I don't know anything about the sauces I made. Put what they had into bowls.
Yeah, but oh man, the beef soup looks really rich.
You can try some of this beef and Chinese kale. I don't know what that is. It's really tasty. Tender beef, crispy kale, but it's more like, I don't know, it's not kale.
So we got the large beef soup to share. Like we said, there's no noodles in it. Yeah, it looks really rich. We got the lean beef, so the beef looks, it's not very fatty or anything. Oh, it's tasty, it's really good. I'm glad we got like rice and other things with it. But yeah, it's really good. It's kind of neat to try this in Tainan over here.
We are now heading down Shenang Street, I believe it's called. It's an old historical street here in Tainan, and it's really nice now. It has lots of cafes, restaurants, bars.
It's good at night.
And it's good at night because of all the lanterns.
While you're here in Tainan, you'll probably be staying in what's known as the West Central District area. That's where a lot of the hotels are, a lot of museums and temples and stuff. Like sort of, it's like the main kind of like touristy area. It's filled with cafes and restaurants and shops and all that stuff. And it's here that we're just gonna spend the day kind of exploring sort of like the artsy district of West Central.
Have come to the Tainan Confucius Temple. It was built in 1665 and it's the oldest or only Confucius Temple in Taiwan. The grounds around the temple are free just to explore, and it's very, very pretty and nice. You just pay to go into the main area. But yeah, this is just like very peaceful. It's very nice.
And we thought it was 70 to come here, but it's only 40.
Yeah.
Sweet.
When you are in Tainan, you have to explore the little side streets and alleys. There's so much going on. There's little temples everywhere, little shops, cafes. Like, it's so cool to explore.
Close by to the Confucius Temple is this shop that sells kind of a local historical Tainan puff cookie. So we're in Tainan, gotta give it a try. Stacy picked this one. Who knows what that says? But you can pick your. Look, that one's got a heart. I'm gonna go for the snake because it's the year of the snake. Okay, we just came across the street to this nice park to try our
Hollow cookies.
hollow cookies, Tainan hollow cookies. I got yogurt, Stacey got
Lemon.
lemon, and we're gonna try them live. I don't wanna like script this nice art
I know.
for the first time. All right.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, there's like something inside of them. They're not very sweet.
It's way crispier than I was expecting.
No, I was expecting them to be exactly as crispy as they were. Interesting.
I don't taste any lemon, but maybe I'm not in enough.
I don't know. They're okay. Not like crazy. It's just like a little cookie. In this West Central District are two art museums, and they're actually split into the Tainan Art Museum 1 and 2.
Yeah,
It's got big 2 on this.
This is the new building, and the other one is in the old building.
And this exhibit ends today. We weren't actually going to come here today, but it ends today. So if we were to come tomorrow or the day after, they're not going to have like a brand new exhibit up in the space. They need the working time. So we're going today because it's going to be the most efficient. Hopefully you can hear this. The wind's going crazy. We got good news and we got bad news. Good news is they had some like group tickets that somebody didn't pick up, I guess. So they're like,
Not cheap.
150 instead of 200. We're like, all right, it's it. Bad news. Like half of the galleries here are getting turned over. So
Or are
the
just
entire first floor and the entire second floor of 3 floors is totally blocked off. There's nothing. So we raced in here thinking, oh, these exhibits are ending. And there are exhibits that are ending, but there's also like no exhibits.
I think I actually read some reviews though that like a lot of the building can be empty.
Wow.
Like they just don't utilize the whole building.
Well, there you go. But up on the 3rd floor, we got some art, so we'll check that out, I guess. But we get entrance to the first one as well. It's both in one ticket. So maybe
Hopefully
check
there's more.
that there's lots going on. Yeah.
This exhibit is actually about BL, which is a type of manga about male relationships, but for female readers. It's very interesting. Very like specific subgenre of manga. It's kind of cool.
When we were outside, maybe if you were into the scene, you'd know. But I just saw the exhibit ending and I was like, oh, gotta go, we're gonna miss it. I did not know it was female-centric homoerotic manga, so that was a bit of a shock. It's interesting enough, I suppose, but it's I was like, oh, what do we got here? We found this section where there's like heat tiles. Oh, cover it up. What's even going on there?
I don't know.
Oh my god. Can we show that? I don't think we show that. When I was like, God, we can't miss this exhibit. I didn't know. I had no idea. Stacy, you're a married woman. Trying to uncover that. Yeah, it works on heat. When I came over here, there was like 4 dudes all trying to like 4 like buddies, like all trying to like work together on it. Anyways, this is your hand sanitizer. We've concluded the homoerotic section of the museum here. We've come to something called Sunday. And what it is it's a look into migrant workers in Taiwan and their contributions. However, I gotta show you this description. You can pause it if you want to read what it actually says, but it just says there's a large number of migrant workers, and it says during weekends they travel around and leave their residence and socialize and do other things and could create fulfilling memories. And it's talking here about their holiday life is seen as a symbol of freedom and serves as a loophole of the labor system. The whole description is literally like, oh, there's lots of migrant workers here in Taiwan. Fun fact, we just discovered that they're human. Guys, description is not as flattering as maybe they think it is. Take a look at this description here as well. I'm actually kind of really shocked at the tone of this exhibit and the way like migrant workers are like, they're like, oh, these weird foreigners have emotion. Like it's just like I have a really hard time describing it. It's super patronizing. The actual migrant art here is literally about how they're treated like shit. And so these descriptions are talking about them like, oh, did you know that these migrant workers are a human? Is now not really that surprising. They're like in chains and they're like fighting and fleeing and they're like being silenced and shit. Like I think being a migrant worker here in Taiwan is a fucking rough go. I had no idea. I like Taiwan so much. It just goes to show that not everywhere is as it looks on the surface, especially as a tourist.
This is a really interesting contrast between exhibits.
Homoerotic manga on the other side. Yeah, I suppose if an art gallery is supposed to make you think, there you go. Yeah, I don't know, migrant workers were apparently treated like dog shit in Taiwan. It's too bad.
We have now come to the old Tainan Art Museum to utilize our ticket fully. We'll see if there's more exhibits in here, but the first two were interesting enough. So far so good, I guess.
Not what I expected either. These are examples of proper modern art, where it's not a bunch of sticks and a fan or a baseball bat and a backpack, and they're like art. These are interpretive. They took effort, artistry, and craftsmanship to make, and they clearly have like meaning imbued in them, and it's proper modern art. We're done at the first building of the art museum. Superior one. This has got all the beautiful sculptures and art
And more.
and more.
And a beautiful courtyard
This is
too.
the ticket includes both see both.
Yes.
But this is the one. After a day exploring, the temperature's dropping, Stacy's freezing, and so we're going for some famous Tainan noodles called Danzai noodles. I think they're invented here in Tainan, and I haven't heard of them any other place, so we'll say that they're a Tainan exclusive, and we gotta go check them out. So these noodles are like super good. They're in a really light broth. I really like pork broth, the cilantro and the shrimp in them with pork, and they're just like super tasty. And then we got them with the side of these veggies that you have to get. They're so good. They're just like covered in pork and pork fat. They're really tasty. It almost like reminds me, we'll call it like a Tainan ramen. This is probably the best way to describe it. These bowls were only like 70 NT, which is pretty good. And so yeah, we're just demolishing a very tasty dinner. This video is more about the broad things, but we'll tell you about this place specifically. It's at an intersection or a roundabout near Chikan Tower. It's so good. This is maybe one of the best things we've had in Taiwan. These Danzai noodles, or maybe we'll call them now Tainan ramen. It's so good. If you are in this area, you have to come eat these noodles. They're cheap, they're delicious. They're one of the best things we've eaten in Taiwan. Wow, we totally didn't expect that. We knew it was gonna be good based on people talking it up, but that's so good. So you gotta come to this place, check it out. The Wandering Blue Passport's seal of approval. And funny enough, it's right next to this donut place called Donuts. They spelled it funny. So we're gonna get dessert there. And then that's it for the day. We're headed to Anping Fort Zeelandia tomorrow, which is maybe Tainan's most famous tourist site. So we're pretty excited for that. Good morning from the old walls of Fort Zeelandia, here just west of Tainan. This is probably one of Tainan's most famous tourist attraction sites, and it's an old fort, an old Dutch fort from the 1600s.
Second oldest in Taiwan.
Yeah, we learned that up in Taipei at the museum. Yes, one of Tainan's most famous attractions, and it's just an old historic site, and it's changed hands a couple of times. It was Dutch in the early 1600s and part of the Qing dynasty by the end. And it's just like a sort of picturesque place to come and explore, and they've got some museums so we can learn a little bit of history of what's kind of passed through the region. The museum in here is basic, but has provided like a nice context for you can hear a school of kids coming through. It's provided a nice context for the history and the Dutch sort of establishing trade here in the country and sort of founding where Taiwan as a modern nation began. And it was here in Tainan specifically here in Zeelandia, that later under the Qing became Amping. And I guess some other groups had been through. The groups from Siam and Japan and China kind of passed through here, but nobody actually set up on the island yeah, nobody kind of permanently set up on the island until the Dutch East India Company. It's just interesting to see that Taiwan, sort of as a country, started with the Dutch. I always loved this as a kid, going to like historic sites for like a field trip. It was always so pleasant. Ooh, Stacey's gonna tell us some facts. What facts you got?
I don't know. What facts do I got?
Wow. Going up the tower, the observation tower here is a popular activity, but we just managed to get ahead of a school group. So I think it's gonna get pretty hectic up here. Up and up and up we go. This is the most iconic feature of the Amping Fort, is this tower.
We're done at the fort now. We've been here for about 2 hours, which is probably longer than most take to visit, but it was really nice. It's not a huge site. There's a couple little museums and whatnot, but yeah, it's been really nice. But Zeelandia, or Amping, isn't just the fort. There's actually like a bit of a town around the fort and an old street. So that's where we're gonna go grab some lunch. We're just walking around the old street trying to find something to eat, and we came across some Zeelandia excavations. So they're happening like all over the place. Quite neat.
Good morning. Our day starts here across from this department store on our last day in Tainan. What's the department store? What does that matter? Well, it's the Hayashi department store, and it was the first department store in the city, and it was built by the Japanese in the first half of the 20th century when Japan owned Taiwan. So we're just picking up a couple things today that we didn't get the opportunity to do in the last few days, and that means starting here. We have one final, beautiful, wonderful place we're gonna visit to round off our trip in Tainan. We saved the best for last. But you'll have to stick around and watch to the end to see it. It'll be worth it, trust me.
We are just on the roof, and there's a info sign talking about how there's marks of World War II, because you can actually see where some bullets had hit the building. We're done exploring the Hayashi department store, and it's actually really cool. It's like a whole building of like gift, locally made type things, and then there's like a little bit of history throughout, which is neat. Just nice, like looking around. Good place to get a souvenir. We've come to Snail Alley. It's this cute little alley where there's snails everywhere, apparently. Like this.
Not actual snails. And look, it's one of these things where you like get the
Oh,
toys,
yeah,
you like turn
but
them and
it's
it's like you
snails.
gamble, but they're all snails.
Cute. Oh, they make little
snail
snail
cakes.
cakes. Cute. There's a cafe back here called L'Escargot, which I very much appreciate. We have now come to the Blueprint Creative Park, which has all these art installations, which is really nice. And then I think there's a bunch of shops and cafes around here. It's just like neat to explore and take photos and stuff. A lot seems closed right now. We might be too early, but makes it really quiet. Nice to look around without all the people.
As we're exploring Tainan, we've come to learn over the last few days that Google Maps timings for buses cannot be trusted.
There's the same in Taipei.
Yeah, so we do think that Google Maps is a really good way to navigate around, and it'll tell you the right bus routes and everything like that. But just the times are never correct. If you're in Tainan and you're navigating around, use the public transit system. It seems great, works fine, but the Google Maps times are totally wrong. Something you'll notice as you're walking all around Tainan, about every 30 minutes or so, there'll be fighter jets flying overhead. That's because the Tainan airport shares runways with an Air Force base close by, but it's because China is constantly sort of testing the boundary, the midway point between China and Taiwan. So there's always fighter jets in the air to remind China perhaps that there's a border there that they'd like respected. So it's just interesting as you're walking around in Tainan, you'll hear them. Take a look up and you'll always see some flying over. It's just neat, especially if you don't live somewhere close to an Air Force base. Just like, interesting to see.
We've definitely saved the best for last. We've come to the Sausage Museum.
Deep here in Industrial Park, Tainan.
It's at the Black Bridge Sausage Factory. And it's a free museum they got. And if you watch our other videos, you know we love our food museum.
Butter museum in Cork, cheese museum in Cars.
Yes, so this will be a treat.
Get your wieners. Okay, this museum is pretty sweet.
Cute
Guys, they have a little sausage board, sausages of the world over here, where we learned, we didn't know, we're Canadian, we don't have this. In US, July is the month of hot dog, when hot dog carnivals take place everywhere. See, it's a lot of fun.
It's actually really well put together. It's small, but it's good.
Guys, if you see obscure food museums when you're traveling,
They're a delight.
you gotta check them out.
We're in the elevator right now. Look how cute this is.
We're the only ones at the Sausage Museum because everybody else sucks at being a tourist. It's here in the Sausage Museum that our time in Tainan unfortunately has to come to an end.
We've really enjoyed Tainan. It's been really cool.
Yeah, it's been neat seeing the history. We didn't kind of know much about it before we came here, but being to the fort and sort of learning about that this is sort of where Taiwan kind of got its start.
Yeah.
We just had no idea.
Yeah, there's lots of historical things to see just walking around, and then like lots of art and stuff everywhere, which is really fun to just explore. The little side streets and stuff are so neat.
It's a really dense city. There's stuff
Everything's
everywhere
walkable,
constantly.
yeah. Except for the
It's been really enjoyable and discovering Tainan food, not just the sausage museum here. The famous Taiwanese sausage was invented here apparently, but like the Danzai noodles and the beef soup. Like it's just been, we kind of didn't know what to expect from Tainan, and so it's been a really nice place. So if you're coming to Taiwan, you should add Tainan to your itinerary because we really enjoyed it, and we think that probably most people would too. Plus, it's where the sausage museum is.